Hello and welcome to Now It's My Turn, where the 50 plus woman awakens her spark and enjoys her life. I am Lana McAra, and we're coming to you from the greater Philadelphia area today. And we're talking about downsizing. I think that's something that a lot of 50 plus people think about. I've thought about it. I've done it actually, but it's not easy. So get your pen and paper, message your friends, let them know that we are here, and it's going to be a great show today. So, our purpose each week is to open the door for the 50 plus woman to live a life she absolutely loves. Today's 50 plus woman is vibrant, alive, filled with passion and purpose, and she's a powerful force for good in the world. And we are here to unleash that power and to break through social programming and the myths that say, we are half done. We're not half done. We're just getting started. Where each woman can say, now it's my turn. Now it's my turn to create my life. Because so many times, women, we push ourselves to the side. We forget about ourselves and we just focus on what everybody else needs and wants. And then when somebody says, what do you want? We go, I don't really know. I haven't really thought about it. Well, that involves answering two questions. First of all, who am I? Who am I now in this phase of my life? Now that a lot of the roles, got tos and shoulds are complete or almost complete, who am I really in here? And the second question, what do I want? Until we really know what we want, we're just going to wander around and we're never going to get there. So let's think about those. And we do that every single week here on Now It's My Turn. So let's go ahead and get into our heart space connection. And so I just like to invite you to take a deep breath, settle into your chair, feel your body, and take nice, slow, deep breaths and just come into this joining of consciousness that we do every single time. Let your heart just swell with love. This loving energy is just so delicious. And just feel the love swelling up in your chest. It's so warm and soft and inviting. And now let's just let the love energy just go from the top of your head all the way down to your feet and the ends of your fingers. Just fill your body up with this beautiful, soft, loving energy. And now let that loving energy just fill the room, ceiling to floor, wall to wall. Just let it expand out and fill the space with this beautiful feeling of loving energy. And now fill the building, the house, the apartment building, the condo, wherever you are, from the roof to the basement. And then let it spread to the entire region. Just imagine that your loving energy is just floating over the retail shops and the hospitals and the education buildings and all the housing developments. You know that love actually lowers the crime rate? The HeartMath Institute has found that when people are in that space and they put intention to it, the crime rate actually goes down. We really need that right now. So let's just spread the love. It feels so good to do it too. And now just spread it out to the entire continent, North America, South America, Europe, Asia, Africa, Australia. Spreading it all the way out to the edges of the continent. You know, I love doing this every week because what happens is, even if people are listening to the recording, our energies cross each other. As you spread your heart energy out, it's going to cross with the next viewer and the next viewer. And we're creating this beautiful grid of loving energy, just coating this entire world. And so now just one more little push and spread your love all the way around the globe and back again. And you can just feel us connecting. And the healing for one is the healing for all. And we are more together than we are alone. Thank you so much for participating. All right, let's get our guest in here. Hey, Sharon McRill likes to help busy and overwhelmed people get things done. Owner and president of the Betty Brigade, an Ann Arbor-based organization and relocation company, Sharon and her team of Bettys perform such projects as moving coordination, organizing, and staging. For more information on the Betty Brigade, visit bettybrigade.com, and it's going to be in the show notes as well, so you can just click down there. Welcome, Betty.
Hello. People
Sharon.
People call me Betty all the time, and we actually really welcome that. We even the male members of our team are Bettys, and they have titles like Brawny Betty or Heavy Lifter Betty, and so Betty is perfectly fine. The only person who doesn't get to call me Betty is my mother, who named me Sharon. So
It was so natural. It just like slipped right out there. Yeah. So welcome, Sharon. I'm so glad to have you on the show today because this is a really vital topic. I went through that downsizing thing when I got a divorce, which I think happens to a lot of us, when we have to just make those big changes. And it was not easy. It wasn't easy to separate from my stuff. So let's talk a little bit about that. So what is a silver tsunami?
Well, the silver tsunami is the baby boomers. Those are the folks that went through the Depression and went through and came up through World War II, and they were children during the Depression, and so their parents were like savers, right? And the baby boomers are now at the point where they are starting to let go of their own stuff, and they have ended up with their parents' stuff, their grandparents' stuff, their aunts and uncles' stuff, and so they've got all these things that are lovely and beautiful and antiques, and guess what? Their kids don't want them, and their grandkids that are millennials really don't want them, and so it's not. There's a disconnect between the different age groups, and so the silver tsunami or the baby boomers grew up like saying, I need good china, I need good linens, I need to have furniture that could seat 18, and that's just not reality. Well, it's especially not reality right now during our pandemic, but it's not even reality when we don't have a pandemic.
That's true. That's true, because the younger people, they go out. They don't have people in much.
Well, and for younger people, it's really about the experience. It's about having something to do or experiencing spending time with someone. It's not about the stuff. They're not interested in things. They have their clothes, they have their computer, and they don't really care where they sleep. They don't care if they have a couch. What they would rather do is travel and have experiences. So one of the things I say to my older clients is, I know that your grandchildren don't want your stuff, and they all nod. And I said, so what if you sold your stuff that you don't want and took your grandkids on a trip? Because what they really want is to have experiences with you. It's not that they don't want to spend time with you. They just don't want your stuff. They don't need your china. They don't need your big, heavy dining room table set. What they want is to spend time with you. So doing those types of things, spending time with family, is something that millennials crave.
Oh, yes, that's definitely, I can see that in my own. I have 7 children, and they are millennials, and I think the youngest one may be, getting down there to Gen Z or whatever that is, Gen X. So yeah, I see that so much, because I had some things from my father, and to think about what to do with it, when I was moving and I didn't want to be hauling it around, that was a challenge, definitely a challenge for me. They don't seem to have that emotional investment as we did, because that was grandma's lamp. you know, it's treated like a sacred object.
Right.
And they're like, eh. Yeah.
Exactly. And it's not that those things aren't important. It's that they just don't have that emotional connection with
Right.
stuff. So, you know, there's always exceptions. There's always going to be somebody who's going to say, no, I want all that stuff. And that's okay. That's
Mhm.
great, actually, because then you have a place for the things to go.
Yes, yes. And then also the children, most of the time they have their house furnished, they have everything they need. They don't know where to put it if I did take it, and that kind of thing. So what do you do with all that stuff? I mean, what
Well,
is it?
so the answer to that is it depends. Because here's the thing. Stuff is stuff. And as the baby boomers are aging, donation centers and consignment dealers and estate sales are more and more frequent. And so the big heavy furniture doesn't sell. Like, here's a great example. So remember in the 80s, everybody had one of those TV cabinets that you could close up and put your TV inside. Remember that?
Yep.
So we come across those all the time, and people say, oh yeah, I've got this wonderful TV cabinet. Well, nobody wants those anymore, because guess what? TVs are flat and they hang on the wall, or they sit on a low flat table now. And
Mhm.
so there's no reason to have those big giant cabinets in your living space, in your TV space, because you can have a TV on the wall, just like if you went to the movies.
Mhm. Yes, I when I see those things, I think of hotels. That's about the only place that you ever see them anymore is the hotels. Because of course the hotel's been furnished for, you know, decades.
Well, and even some hotels have eliminated them as
Yes.
well.
Mm-hmm.
but
Yeah.
but but donation centers aren't interested in them. And you know, I have people all the time say, well, it's a perfectly good piece of furniture, and it is. But here's the thing: if nobody wants it, then there's no market for it.
Mm-hmm.
So if there's no market for it, it won't sell, it won't donate, it's going to sit there. And so finding new ways to use those types of things. And I have seen people like reuse those cabinets for cat beds. Like, you can create a little cat condo in there. I've seen
Mm-hmm.
that. I've seen them repurposed to be used as bookshelves. You can put shelving in there
Mm-hmm.
and close up your bookshelves to keep the dust off them. So there's different things that you can do, but getting rid of them is a trick. And so emptying a house, and we do this all the time. We're in our 18th year doing this.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff is It's interesting. The quality of the stuff is important, like the condition. Having a coffee table with water rings that, and the finish is gone. Nobody wants that. But if you have a coffee table that has water rings that's mid-century modern, which if you know what mid-century modern is, it's from the 50s. So it's those funky shaped tables. Now that is worth something, even with the water rings, because someone will refinish it and put it in their house. Those long, low couches from the 50s, very, very popular. All that Danish modern furniture, very popular. Weird shaped lamps, very popular. But and so from the 50s, 60s, and even the 70s, all that weird, like, orange and green stuff from the 70s, that'll sell.
Wow, that is amazing. I remember those mirrors with the starburst coming out of them that were
Mhm.
so awful. Are those back?
They have been back for many years,
Wow.
and so all of that mid-century modern stuff. In my whole So you should know, I collect mid-century modern, and I've been collecting for 25 years.
Mm.
And so I will often go into a client's house, and, like, if I turned around my screen, you would see that I have a couch that I had reupholstered. Now, this couch was going to end up in the trash. Now, I paid $2,500 to have it reupholstered, so
Mm.
I saved it from the trash, and now I have this cool couch that I can't find anywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
So those are the kinds of things that can be rescued, but you do have to put some money into them. If you can find them in pristine shape, and you still can, you will pay top dollar.
Wow, that's really good information, because I know that for me, if I walked into, say, my mother's house, which this isn't true for her, but if it was, and looked around and went, oh, this stuff's been around for 60 years, just get rid of it, and not to know that that stuff actually has some value right now.
But it has to be in good condition.
Right.
If it's not in good condition, it doesn't mean that someone won't take it. It just means that they've got to put work into it to get it back to where it's valuable. Now, that being said, like things that are not and have never been collectible is things like furniture with like I've seen these before, like my grandma had one of these. She had a couch that was covered in Revolutionary soldiers, like little green and or gray and blue soldiers. And I'm like, really? Like, okay, there's soldiers all over her couch, and nobody wanted it. It just not a thing. But some of that kitschy stuff really is quite popular. Things that are nobody wants. Plaid couches. We've tried to donate them, and even donation centers are saying, nope, we've got 3 plaid couches and we haven't been able to sell them. So if you have a plaid couch, or if you have a big floral couch from the 80s.
Right. Wow. So what does the Betty Brigade actually do? What is that? We're talking about getting rid of furniture, but I know you do a lot more than that.
We do. So we kind of think of us as like project managers for your house. So if you're not moving, if you just need some organizing, we come in and create a plan for your house, help you declutter, help you reorganize rooms, help you get rid of stuff that you've had for years and years and years. And maybe it's stuff that, and here's how we like to put it. If it's sitting in a box in your basement, it's not valuable to anyone. You're not enjoying it. It's not important. It's in a box in your basement. If you really loved it, it would be sitting out so you could see it and enjoy it every day. So from that perspective, think about, and everybody has stuff. Think about what you are storing. How important is it to you really? And would you save it if there was a fire or a flood? Probably not. Like nobody says when there's a fire, oh, I have to save my couch. Nobody says that. Like, yeah. But when you're moving, yeah, you do need some place to park your butt. So yeah, it's important to a degree.
That's a good tip for anyone, even thinking about cleaning out, spring cleaning or fall cleaning or whatever it is. If it's in a box in your basement or your garage and it's been there for a year or more, it's time to.
Well, a year or more could be holiday decorations. It really could be. However, if it's been there for 20 years, and that's what we see. We see that it's been there for 20 years. I don't even know what's in this box anymore.
Yeah.
So that's where we have to say, all right, really, how important is it to you really if it's been sitting in a box for 20 years?
Yes. So when you help someone, and I'm just looking to give a few tips, for people listening, when you help someone who is getting ready to downsize, what would be your instructions to that person when you first come in and start the project? How would you help them to decide what to keep, throw, and move?
Well, and that's an important thing. So most people start that process with here's what I'm keeping. I'm keeping my couch, I'm keeping my bed, I'm keeping my dishes, I'm keeping this, that, and the other. And that's not where to start. Where to start is, where are you moving to? If you don't know where you're moving to, you have no idea how much space you have, and you have no idea what you can take. So start with the where. Know where you're moving. And if you don't know where you're moving, like if if maybe you're building a house, or maybe you are just deciding I'm moving to another area of the country, that's okay. But knowing approximately what size or what your budget is for your new space is an important piece, because that's what will inform everything else. It informs what you keep. It informs your timeline. It informs who's helping you. Like, do you need professional help, or can your family help you? Can it just be done by, two men in a truck, or do you really need a team? So all of those things are informed by where you are moving and when you are moving and who is helping you. The what is the last thing you decide. The what you're taking is always, you go where, when, and who's helping. And then the what of what's going with you.
Okay, I love that. Where, when, who, who's
Where,
helping,
when, who, and
and
then
then
what.
what. Wow, yeah, that makes it so simple to kind of think that through, that progression.
Mhm.
And really, that is terrific, because when we packed to go overseas, we had no idea where we were going. And when we got over to the Caribbean to move into our home, we had so much stuff that we didn't have any idea what to do with. It didn't even fit here, wasn't appropriate for the country,
Yep.
things like that. Yeah.
And that's actually a really good point. It's not appropriate for the place you're moving to. So, like, for example, I live in Michigan, and in Michigan, there's a lot of furniture manufacturing. And so, so big, heavy, we call it here in Michigan, we call it big brown furniture, because it's big and it's brown. Like, and so you see big brown furniture in almost every house here in Michigan, especially if somebody has been in there for more than 20 years, because it's solid and it's good, and it's it's wood.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean, if you took that big brown furniture and you moved, say, to the southeast, like to Florida, like everything down there is light, like wicker. Everybody has wicker and light colored furniture. So that big heavy brown furniture doesn't fit with that type of lifestyle. It doesn't mean you can't put it in there. You absolutely can, but it doesn't suit the style of the homes.
Yes, I can definitely relate to that. Yes, we had sweaters and different things. We had no idea we were going to be sweating putting up the Christmas tree. But that's what happened. Yeah.
Yeah. But that's that comes with the where you're moving. So knowing the where, the space, and the climate. Think about the climate. I had this lady who, this was about 10 years ago. She got so upset that we got rid of her big, huge, heavy down winter coat. And it wasn't fancy, it wasn't expensive, but she got really upset. She was moving from Michigan, where it's cold in the wintertime, really cold, to Arizona, where it's not cold at all. And she was just so upset about that winter coat. And it turns out, it wasn't really about the coat. And it never is.
Yeah, that's really true. That's really true. I always do a little process at the end, and today we're going to be talking about letting go of some the things that we have that resistance to letting go. So yes, I get that. I have a coat myself that I need to get rid of. I've been wearing that coat for 15 years. It's suede. It's still okay. It's still fine. It doesn't have any holes in it. It looks good, but I know energetically, that coat's been through a lot of stuff with me. I need to get it out of here and get a new one and refresh the energy. But it's still hanging there.
And that's a great point. So, like, energetically, your stuff holds your energy, right?
Yes.
And so let's just talk about that for a minute. As you start letting go of things, because nature abhors a vacuum, the things that you want to have come into your life start coming in, because you have let go of things that don't serve you any longer.
Yes.
So by doing that, and I don't talk much about this with my clients, because they don't realize that we are transformationalists, and that because that's kind of what we do. Organizing is transformation inside your house, but it's very practical. And so by letting go of those things that don't serve you and bringing in the things that do, it changes the energy of your space, and it changes your own personal energy.
Absolutely. Yes, it does. It's really refreshing once you get through it. It's sometimes not easy at the moment, but it's very refreshing. Right.
And I'm sure you experienced that when you went through your divorce.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I packed my car with as much as I could get into it. And in those days, that was in 2009, I had a big desktop computer. So my tower, my big monitor took up most of the trunk, already. I left with what I had in that car. That was all I had. But wow, talk about a life shift. And it has been amazing ever since. It really taught me not to hold things too tightly.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a thing. It's just a couch. It's just a bed.
It's just stuff.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. So that's an important point, is that it's not that important. And sometimes it's so dear to you. Sometimes you recognize that it's a thing. It's a glass, it's a ring, it's a bracelet, it's a coat. You recognize that in your head logically. And something about that particular thing triggers your heart. And some people are more triggered by that. So that's where we get into hoarding. That's where we get into compulsive shopping. And we work with those folks too. And that's a whole ball of wax. We could do one whole show on just that.
I'm sure. I'm sure, because there's so much emotion tied to the things that we have around us, positive or negative.
Yep.
It's just, yeah, it is an expression of who we are inside and all of that. So tell us a little bit about your book, about what's in it.
Sure. So it's right here behind me. It's called Downsizing the Silver Tsunami, Who to Call and Where Does the Stuff Go? And we are, at the end of September, we're going to be releasing the audio version. Currently, the print and the Kindle are available on Amazon, but the audio is coming. So I'm excited. We're editing that next week. And so I'm very excited for that. But the book is about how to work in a house that you've been living in, or your parents have been living in for 30 or 40 or 50 years. Like, how do you manage going through all that stuff? How do you hire the right vendors? What to look for? Where does stuff go? What does it look like to have an estate sale? What does it look like to work with consignment dealers? Like all the things that come along with either organizing or emptying a home and getting it ready for sale. We've got a whole chapter on wills and trusts, and how does that affect a family when someone has passed away. I could talk about that for another hour as well, because we've seen families just tear each other apart over stuff, over money, and it's not okay. It's really not.
Yeah. Wow, that is such a needed topic. I'm so impressed with that. Please, when we get done with the show here, please share that to my timeline, tag me in that, because I definitely want to put that out in the community and also to my connections.
And you can absolutely find, the book is on Amazon, but it's also on our website, bettybrigade.com. So that's the easy way to find it, is just go to our website, and it will link you over to Amazon.
Okay, very good. We've all, I think at this point in life, either for parents, because we're taking care of aging parents a lot of times, or for ourselves, because of moving and kids are grown. We don't need this big house anymore, all that kind of thing. So appropriate for my community, that particular topic. So really, really excited about sharing that out with them. So if you had any last thoughts to leave with us, what would that be?
So folks get so overwhelmed by stuff and by where to start. And that's the thing that we see the most. And the first the first thing you can do is just start. Start with a junk drawer. Start with your dining room table. Start with what you see every day, and don't let it overwhelm you. And if you do get overwhelmed, bring in somebody else. Bring in a friend, bring in a relative, or bring in a professional crew that can help you move that forward, because that's what we see. We see people stall all the time, and then they stop. They stay in their homes too long, and then they fall, or the house starts deteriorating, and they can't keep it up anymore. And so those are the kinds of things that we see most often, is that people wait too long to move.
Right. So tell me, does the Betty Brigade only work in Michigan, or are you other places?
We work all over the United States. We
Wow.
cannot, right now, the border's closed, but we can't work in Canada. We do work all over the US, and we can do remote estimates, especially now with COVID, but we've been doing remote estimates for more than 5 years.
Mhm.
So we can do that for you. And if you mention it's my turn, then we will do a free estimate for your home. And then we put together a plan. It's not just about what Betty Brigade does, but do you need handymen? Do you need cleaners? Do you need landscapers? What do you need for your project to complete your dream? Whether it's staying in your home or whether it's moving, we can create that plan for you.
Awesome. What a wonderful service. Thank you so much. BettyBrigade.com, and it's right down here below. So, Sharon, thank you so much for being with us today. This has been fabulous. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It has really been a delight.
See you later. Wow, wasn't that great? Oh, that was awesome. Okay, before we go on to the next phase of the show, I just have one announcement, and that is don't forget that my new ebook, Never Date a Narcissist Again, is on Kindle. Go over to Amazon and get it. You can also get there by going to neverdateanarcissistagain.com. Very helpful. A lot of bullet point tips to help you to get control of your relationships, especially at the beginning. So today I want to talk just a little bit more about this, about letting go. Vibrational spring cleaning is what I like to call it. I was kind of in a stall after I was taking care of my mother last year for a few months and living in her home. I came out, back to Delaware, back to this area, and I was looking for a place to live. I was in a friend's basement, just looking for some place to rent and so forth. And I heard a YouTube video that was just so helpful for me. And it was one little tip that I picked up out of this long video. And what this person said was, if you want to raise your vibration, if you want to up level your feeling in your home, then go around into your home and check in vibrationally with every single thing that you come in contact with. It really, like, boom, hit me, because if I want to be at a certain level vibration, then why do I have this thing that gives me a memory of something I didn't like, an unpleasant thought that comes to my mind every time I see that? Well, that's taking me out of my ideal vibration, my ideal space. It's not ideal anymore. If I have a picture hanging on the wall that brings back some kind of unpleasantness because maybe of what is on the picture, or maybe who gave it to me, why is it there? The same thing with clothing. If I'm putting on something that was a gift from someone that we had, kind of a tension there or something that brings my vibration down, makes me feel a little wonky or edgy, why am I having that? And so I did what I call a vibrational spring cleaning. I just went through everything, and I looked at what I had around me. I looked at my car. I looked in my car. I did a total upgrade of whatever was in my environment. And wow, did it ever help me to just come up and feel at ease and feel so much happier with everything that was in my space, in my place. And I just do that once in a while. Things kind of creep in, don't they? We call it accumulation. But to just check in, you know, is that thing, does it have an emotional charge? Or does it make me feel uplifted? And when I bring something in, you know, does that have a good feeling to me? Or am I bringing something in that is, you know, got some kind of something going on, an undercurrent about it? So that is something that I wanted to just really mention, because in the process that we go through at the end of every show, this is a good check-in point to just walk through your home and look around. You know, what is around you? To think in those terms. And when you're looking through your closet, you know, what is here that lifts me up? And what is here that maybe gives me that constriction or that feeling of edginess? And if you have a problem with letting something go, although you want to, but you don't know how to do it, or maybe you have a stop for some reason, there is a process on my website. It's a totally free download. It's a 7-minute video that goes through a process for releasing. It's called Throwaway Negative Thoughts in 7 minutes or less, but you can use it for this. So if you look at that object and you think about the emotion behind it, this little video will help you find where you have it in your body, take it out, throw it away. And so you can clear yourself. And I recommend that you download it to your phone. So you have that. It's only 7 minutes. You can just take a little moment, go through the process, get rid of it, and have a better day. So that's all we have for you today. Thank you so much. And I'm looking forward to hearing your comments. See you next time. Bye now.